Radhe Radhe Govinda Govinda Radhe 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 Govinda Govinda Radhe.
We are reading Shri Radha Rasa Sudhanidhi, verse 82. Who in this world are those unintelligent persons who do not mark their shoulders with the signs of the disc and the conch shell of Lord Vishnu, who do not make a wonderful temple of Lord Hari, tilak, on 12 parts of the body, or who do not wear beautiful beads around their tulasi beads around their necks, through the power attained by serving their Guru. Who in this world are those unintelligent persons who do not mark their shoulders with the signs of the disc and the conch shell of Lord Vishnu, who do not make a wonderful temple of Lord Hari, tilaka, on the body, on the 12 parts of the body, or who do not wear beautiful tulasi beads around their necks, through the power attained by serving their Guru. The chapter name is Raga Marga, attended by regulative principles.
Raga Marga?
Attended by regulative principles.
Raga?
Attended meaning attention.
Or supported by.
Supported by.
Supported by regulative.
In the previous verse, Shripada offered his obeisances unto all the great souls who are fixed in Shri Radha's lotus feet, desiring to attain her service by their grace, and revealing their steadiness in bhajana, said, they may be attached to fruitive activities, or may have given them up, and they may not have shown attachment to Bhagavat Dharma or Vaidhi Bhakti. Are such pure Raga Marga Vaishnava Mahatmas that not following any regulative principles, such as wearing tilaka and tulasi beads? The answer to such a question is given here. The worship of Gaudiya Vaishnavas is called Raga Marga, attended by or supported by regulative principles. In Ragavatma Chandrika it is said, the orders of the scriptures inaugurate Vidhi Bhakti, and sacred greed inaugurates Raganuga Bhakti. At the time that sacred greed awakens, there is no need of scriptural injunctions or evidence whatsoever. For wherever there is the need of scriptural injunctions, there is no possibility of sacred greed. It is certainly true that there is no dependence on scriptural injunctions or evidence when sacred greed awakens. But as soon as the sacred greed has been born, one must certainly follow scriptural injunctions. Lobha. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. All the items of Vaidhi Bhakti, such as hearing and chanting,
उसको भी ठीक करवाओ, वहाँ भी गड़बड़ है, उसका भी तो जरूरत है, उसको लगवाओ, वहाँ पर क्या सामान नीचे है,
स्विच का मैं बोल रहा हूँ
नहीं लगा दो, उसको लगवा दो.
all the items of Vaidhi Bhakti, such as hearing and chanting, are also suitable or supporting for Raga Nuga Bhakti. This is what the wise and learned say. Srimad Jiva Goswami comments, one must accept those items of Vaidhi Bhakti that are favorable to the execution of Raga Nuga Bhakti. It is necessary to know here which items of Vaidhi Bhakti are favorable to the execution of Raga Nuga Bhakti and which ones are not. To make this easily understandable for the sadhakas, Srila Vishnava Chakravarti Pad has divided the items of devotion in 5 categories. Swabhishta Bhavamaya, filled with the desired feeling. Swabhishta Bhava Sambandhi, related to the desired feelings. Swabhishta Bhavan Anukula, favorable to the development of the desired feelings. Swabhishta Bhava Viruddha, not contrary to the desired feelings. And Swabhishta Bhava Viruddha, contrary to the desired feeling. Dasya, Sakya, and living in Rajam are amongst the items that are filled with the desired feelings. There are certainly both sadhana and sadhya, practice and goal. Taking shelter of a guru, service to the guru, japa, meditation, the 9 kinds of devotion, such as hearing and chanting, the glories of the names, qualities and pastimes of the beloved deity, according to one's own feelings, fasting on Ekadashi, vows such as those taken in the Kartik month, eating the prasad which was offered to the Lord, and wearing the Lord's prasadi garments are amongst the items that are related to the desired feelings. Svabhishta Bhava Sambandhi, related. Of them, some are the material cause to the attainment of prema, and some are the instrumental cause. Wearing a tulasi mala around the neck, tilaka on the forehead, or the names of the Lord on the various parts of the body, serving tulasi, ambulating a holy place or temple, and offering obeisances are items of bhajan that are favorable to the desired feelings. The next ones are offering respect to the cows, banyan or dhatri trees and brahmanas are the items of bhajana that are not unfavorable to the desired feelings. So all these items of Vaidhi Bhakti should thus be practiced by Raganuga sadhakas. Service rendered to the Vaishnavas is included in all these four categories. All these items of Vaidhi Bhakti should thus be practiced by Raganuga sadhakas. And then, worshipping oneself as the Supreme Lord, practicing breathing exercises or mudras, ritualistic gestures with one's hands, meditating on Krishna's pastimes in Dwaraka or his pastimes with his queens. There are items that are unfavorable to the development of the desired feelings and should therefore be given up by the Raganuga sadhakas. Hence, the wearing of tulasi beads, tilaka, and the holy names of the Lord should certainly be practiced by the Raga sadhakas, since they are favorable to the development of the desired feelings. Those who give up the wearing of tilaka and neck beads, thinking them to be the items of Vaidhi Bhakti alone, are not wise. Rather, they are very unintelligent. For them, the perfection of prema is far away. It is the Vaishnava's eternal duty to wear strings of tulasi beads around the neck. For she is Vishnu Priya, Lord Vishnu's beloved. Of the two syllables ma, la, the syllables ma means wealth and la means donation. O Male, you are blessed by donating the wealth of prema to the sadhakas. Hence, you are named Mala. On the other hand, it is said that giving up one's mala is a great fault. Garuda Purana. Those selfish and sinful people who do not wear a tulasi mala around their necks are always burned in the fire of Lord Hari's wrath and never return from hell. What to speak of the Vaishnavas? Any human being who gives up the tulasi mala is an enemy of Lord Vishnu. Therefore, just as all brahmanas wear their sacred thread regardless or whether they are following the regulative principles or their castes or not, similarly, all human beings who desire the love of Lord Vishnu should wear tulasi beads around the neck. Just like the wearing of tulasi beads, we can see that wearing of Sri Hari Mandira Tilaka is also an eternal injunction. That which beautifies the forehead from the nose up to the hair in a vertical way, and has a blank passage in between, is known as Hari Mandira. According to their own individual tradition, all devotees are obliged to wear this Hari Mandira Tilaka. The Lord said, O Brahma, when my devotees worship me in puja and homa, both morning and evening, they always wear tilaka that destroys their fear. They wear it either out of love for me, for their own welfare, or for their protection. In the same way, it is written that the marks of the Lord, mudra, are also always to be worn. Smriti Shastra. One must always worship Srihari, wearing his marks like the conch and the disc on one's shoulders. Otherwise, the worship will not fructify. Vaishnavas either wear the footprints of Lord Vishnu or the syllables of his names as mudras. In his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami has mentioned the wearing of Vaishnava marks as one of the 64 items of devotional practice, and has proven its eternality from the Padma Purana. Those Vaishnavas that wear strings of tulasi, amalaki, or lotus buds around their necks, who wear the marks of conch, disc and so on their shoulders, and whose foreheads are beautified by vertical tilaka, they swiftly purify the world. Many people think that wearing tilaka and neck beads is just an external sign of Vaishnavism, and it has nothing to do with transcendental practice. Others, that are a little bit more wise, say that the wearing of a sadhu dress has its usefulness, because when one sits on a chair wearing a hat, coat, and pants, one adopts a passionate consciousness, whereas when one wears neck beads, tilaka, and the names of the Lord on the body, and sits on the floor on a kush asana, a more virtuous mood awakens. But alas, none of them know that these things are items of Vaishnava practice that should not be given up, because they are a profound cause of the Lord's satisfaction, and thus absolutely necessary in spiritual practice. Just as the Brahmanas wear the sacred thread to worship the Lord of the Brahmanas, similarly, the Vaishnavas also wear neck beads, tilaka, and other signs of Vaishnavism in order to worship Sri Vishnu. Wearing the Vaishnava signs is a physical way of serving the Lord, just as it is an offense to commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name of the Lord. It is also offensive not to wear the Vaishnava marks, thinking oneself in this way to be a Raga devotee. The wearing of Vaishnava marks is a practice that nourishes the desired feelings. This is the opinion of the wise that we are quoting here.
Opinion of wise,
Wise.
not classic.
On the other hand, if this is an item of devotion that should not be renounced, then giving it up is an insult to devotion, and Bhakti Devi will not be pleased with such a sadhaka, as a result of which he will be deprived of the results of his devotional practice.
That is subtle.
It's subtle.
Subtle. What is God?
The wearing of Vaishnava marks is a practice that nourishes the desired feelings. This is the opinion of the wise that we are quoting here. On the other hand, if this is an item of devotion that should not be renounced, then giving it up is an insult to devotion, and Bhakti Devi will not be pleased with such a sadhaka, as a result of which he will be deprived of the results of his devotional practice.
One time I asked from my Gurudev, these are the important items to put the tilak, but when I go to the offices and to the material work, I don't like to do it. I don't do it. So yes, you are right. Put water tilak. You feel that you put the tilak, but put from the water. Same thing you are doing from chanda. You take some water and do it that. So you feel that you put the tilak, but it's not other kinds. So that way your problem is solved. It's sometime in beginning I say I don't like to wear tulsi. I say yes, there is alternative arrangement. You want to be vegetarian? I say yes, I like to be vegetarian. Then wear the golden silver chain with tulsi or silver. Nobody will know that what you are wearing is a golden chain and gold silver chain like he is there. So if you have more money, you wear golden, and if you have less money, wear silver. If you like, you can do it. Yeah. But it's a stamping of Sankaja Patra is Radharani devotee thought. This is marking and this is
Yeah.
So if you want to hide from others your feelings, you can do it. If you like to see, you can put it. If you don't like, you can make the silver. If you don't like, you make the gold. Somebody asks you, say the golden chain, the silver chain. Nobody will ask. And who knows, they will understand that you are Vaishnava. And this is only for our protection, that I am not general like you, who drink and eat meat and do nonsense, ignorance. I am little separate that to protect ourselves. You will feel yourself different. Yeah.
I like when we read this part. When my devotees worship me in puja, or both morning and evening, they always wear tilak that destroys their fear. They wear it either out of love for me, for their own welfare, or for their protection.
Now, out of love for me, one protection is also reason behind. Good benefit. Out of love, because I love, I want to give place at my head, that my head not become influenced with the faults of you. You stay in my head. Your lotus feet will stay in my head. False ego will not dance. I like it. I love it. Not is a regulative person.
Hence Sripada says, who is such a great fool? What is such an unintelligent person like? Thus Sripada reprimands such an intelligent sadhaka. Such an explanation of this verse is reasonable as far as the Sadhaka Bhaktas are concerned, but apart from that, there is also an explanation in this connection with the Siddha Bhaktas. If those whose bhajana is heavy and deep, that are Siddha Mahatmas, that have offered their minds to Shri Radha, and that are always floating on an ocean of constant meditation, if they are by chance not wearing neck beads or tilaka, then they should still be considered highly intelligent on the strength of their total worship of Shri Radha. Because of their complete loving absorption in their Ishtade, they may be so bereft of external consciousness that they do not put on Vaishnava marks, but that will not impede their progress. Rather, if anyone, even mentally, disrespects such a great devotee, he will inevitably commit a gross offense, Vaishnava aparad. This verse shows that it is an absolute duty of an ordinary sadhaka to follow these items of devotion. It is said that even if the Siddha Mahatmas, as a result of their constant eternal absorption, do not wear tilaka and neck beads, it will not harm them even slightly.
Sri Radha. I guess Baba, all is wrong. All is right also. Dependent on If you become Radha devotee and you are fixed, no need any reflection.
Love stands above everything.
But you do out of love some things, and you do what for others can feel also peaceful.
And that is the love. No regulative understanding. I say the wise man's
In the second part of the Gaudiya Vaishnava Jivana, Srila Haridasa describes the life of Siddha Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj as follows. Sometimes he wore a strand of tulasi beads around his neck, and he held a strand of tulasi beads in his hand to count.
My God.
Yeah. And he held a strand of tulasi beads in his hand to count his japa, and a copy of Shri Thakur Mahashai's Prarthana and Prema Bhakti Chandrika. And sometimes he had no beads around his neck, and he held a string of clothes with knots in it in his hand to count his japa.
Wow.
While even his loincloth was untied.
Huh?
And even his loincloth was sometimes untied.
Wow.
This was Gaur Kishore Das Babaji.
Yeah. Guru of regulative to start from that. But this is he was also Baba. Abdul.
So it is said that even if the Siddha Mahatmas, as a result of their constant eternal absorption, do not wear tilak and neck beads, it will not harm them even slightly. Contrary to this, we can understand that if a sadhaka purposefully fails to do these things, he faces a great obstacle to his spiritual progress. Prabodhananda sings, how can I glorify the greatest loving Rasika devotees of the three worlds, who have offered their minds to Krishna's beloved Radha, and who are called most intelligent by the Vedas and the Srimad Bhagavad, even if they do not wear the signs of a conch shell and a disc on their shoulders. Wonderful Srihari Mantira Tilak on their foreheads, or very enchanting strings of tulasi beads around their necks. Those who worship the lotus feet of Radha are the crown jewels of the planet Earth.
Radhe Radhe Govinda